6 plus 6 is 12.
Oh, yeah, I'm bad at math, that's
We
all.
got a tie. My dog's playing basketball in here.
Nice.
Is he good?
Is he
Do
one?
you hear him? Do you hear him?
Yeah.
I heard
Not
him a little
now.
bit.
Yeah, we heard a little bit of barking.
I think my sound gate's actually blocking it, which
Working?
is pretty cool. Anyways,
Yeah.
back to what we were doing here. Speaking, we were talking a little bit about Warlock, which is very good because that's actually next on the list.
I'll go first since I'm playing a Warlock currently.
Cool.
I put them at number 9. Yes, the whole D10 cantrip and how it
Eldritch
grows
Blast.
and expands. Yeah, it's
Eldritch
fantastic.
Eldritch
However,
Blast.
literally every, and Ronifero, you can vouch for me, he goes, all right, Bricker, it's your turn in combat. What are you going to do? Well, Bob, I'd like to Eldritch Blast for 500, please. Like, that's all I can do. The limited spell list of a Warlock is a problem. The fact that it gets a D8 is why it's slightly redeemable, but I don't get to do. I Eldritch Blast. The Genie Patron is nice because I can fly, I can do other but primarily I have nothing that I do except for Eldritch Blast over and over and over.
And
again.
over.
Yep.
That's what you do a lot as Warlock. That's why I put it at 8. But I believe we have a Warlock in one of my current campaigns to actually cast Eldritch Blast. Because, let me double check.
Hexblade?
No, not Hexblade either.
Ooh.
I don't remember exactly what it was. We're pretty sure they're a Warlock. We call them a fucking Water Wizard, though, because all they do is summon up these tentacles that
Yes.
that are able to actually block
Kinky.
damage for you and do damage. And then all they do is just run away. They don't never cast Eldritch Blast once in the entire game.
That's impressive. Yeah, Hexblade is a savior of the Warlock, but I know not a lot of people, well, I guess that's not true. Some people do play it, but that's the only redeeming factor, in my opinion.
Well, I'll go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. No, you first.
No, I take the floor a lot. Your turn.
I was gonna say I put Warlock at 10. I literally flipped a coin between 9 and 10 for Warlock. Because yeah, it's the fighter of the spellcasters. You're like Bricker said, you're always casting.
I didn't
Eldritch
even think
Blast.
about that.
I
Like, that's
I
a
swing my
good
sword.
metaphor.
I cast Eldritch Blast. I swing my sword. I cast. It's the same thing.
Mhm.
But you have like the want to be the spellcaster, and I think that's why it's kind of low. But it has some of the greatest plot implications.
Oh, yeah.
For a story and stuff. So like, I want to put it higher, but I feel like it's the most. It's more boring.
I
than
agree.
A fighter.
Now, I will say in points to the Warlock, it is very easy for new players to pick up because it is a limited spell list, and also the fact that you get all your spells back on a short rest rather than a long rest is pretty incredible.
Is good. That is very, very strong.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
But,
It really is.
Runifero, I'm sorry, it's your turn at the moment.
No, you're perfectly fine. I'm gonna give the Warlock a little more love than what you guys gave it. It is 7 on my list, and the reason why is combat. They are very strong. They're no doubt that they're strong on there. Especially you take Agonizing Blast. That's a huge perk for them.
Yeah.
Roleplay wise, though, that's where they truly shine. Anybody can be a Warlock. You can be a forlorn father whose entire family was slaughtered by the tribal orcs who walked through, and you decide to give your soul to a demon lord for power to get revenge on your family. That works. You're a politician who just needs a little bit more to get an edge, so you talk to one of the elder gods to gain knowledge on your enemy. They're so versatile. They have such a great ability to play any character that you want. They're not number 1 versatility, but they're very high up there for roleplay. Versatility itself, though, they have more versatility literally just because of Hexblade. That's the only reason why. Hexblade makes
Warlock has healing.
Ooh, I didn't know that actually. I didn't think.
Wait,
yes,
really?
They do get. There's a Warlock subclass that does get healing.
Now,
do you blast them with your Eldritch Blast and they get better?
No, I wish that'd be fun.
That would be really fun. Wizards of the Coast, take
Healing
notes. We want to hit our
I think,
allies.
so. I think they just get healing, like access to healing spells. Like I don't remember exactly. Celestial, yeah. What do they get?
I didn't know they could do that though. That's
I
really
also had
cool.
to look it up. It's a
At
Unearthed
first
Arcana.
level. No, it's a
No, the one I was thinking of is Lurker in the Deep. Is an Unearthed Arcana
Oh,
Warlock.
yeah. It's something different now. They did release it in Tasha's. I can't remember what they called it though. I think they just called it Deep. I think they just called it Deep. Actually, I have the official D&D Beyond, and definitely not Wikidot up on the other screen. Let me see here.
Wikidot.
Fathom.
What do you mean? Wikidot's awesome.
No.
No.
Fathomless is what you're looking for.
Yeah, it was Fathomless.
I use 5e tools. I mean, my book.
I mean D&D Beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, the Warlock does have a lot of strong things going for it. Short rests. Some of the spells they get, Evard's Black Tentacles is a really cool one. Some of the patrons that you can choose, like, it's got a lot going for it, but it's the fact that it gets so few spells is why it's so damn low on my list.
Totally get that, and that's why it's lower than most of the full casters on my list, because it's not a full caster, it's not even a half caster.
Yeah.
It's like a quarter caster. It's so weird. It's just so it's a good class. I want to play it again one day, but I know what's going to happen because I've played Sorcerer. I'm going to play it and I'm going to be like, where the f are my spells?
Yeah, Invocations are the only reason that it's not in my honorable mention, because things like Agonizing Blast, True Sight, whichever one allows me to read Eyes of the Runekeeper, I think it's called. Like, the Invocations are phenomenal, and that is why it made it onto the top 10 for me.
Yep. For that brief moment where my Sorcerer was a Warlock Sorcerer combo, that shit was fucking stupid. Especially with Agonizing Blast and being a 20 charisma.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, sweet. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cast Banishment on this guy right here. Oh, and now I'm going to go ahead and quick cast Eldritch Blast. You.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Warlock's one of the multi-class classes.
It is definitely multi-class class.
The fact that I chose to multi-class it with my Warlock that is Arcane Trickster is probably the best choice I've ever made, because I now also get to be sneaky AF as a rogue, but I also actually get spells now that I can cast.
Which is...
Yeah, I didn't think I would ever have to go into a rogue class to cast spells, but here we are. But I think that brings us, unless you guys have anything else to add.
No, there's a whole nother class you're missing.
Well, I know, that's what I was about to say. I think that brings us into our last class. Yeah, Wizard.
Have you guys been paying attention yet?
All I know is that Monk is for sure in the honorable mention tier.
No. The fact that I have not given you a number 1 yet, and the reason being is it's Wizard.
Really?
It's Wizard.
I put Wizard as 6. Mostly because my experience with Wizard wasn't great, but I learned later I'm an idiot, and now I know how to play Wizard a bit better.
Fair.
Go ahead. You want to take it?
No, I was gonna say you can go ahead since you got the number 1 spot for Wizard. I'll say for you.
I gotta hear about this.
So Wizards combat, they are the most powerful. I'm so sorry. They can do everything. Wish spells. If you get a Blade Singer against a Barbarian, they're fucking that Barbarian up. I'm sorry. There's nothing the Barbarian can do against them. Druid, same thing. The Wizards have the most options combat-wise. They can attack melee. They can attack ranged with spells. They can control the battlefield. They can buff their allies. Everything. They can even cast Time Stop and just sit there and prepare. It's limited to your imagination. Chess versus checkers, basically. Roleplay wise, they're not bad role players. All you have to do is have a thirst for knowledge. There you go. You're a wizard now. You're a wizard, Harry. And then versatility, as I was talking before, wizards can do everything except maybe heal. Can they heal?
I don't think so. No.
That's the only thing.
The closest thing they got is abjuration. Can give themselves temporary hit points.
That's about it, isn't it?
With the arcane ward.
Yeah. So they're not very good team players, but besides that, they're one of the most versatile classes. I was just talking. Roleplay, they're really good in like skill checks, everything. I don't know. I love the wizard. They're one of my favorites.
Yeah. I have them at 3.
Oh man, y'all are gonna hate me.
No, I mean,
why? You can't say all. I have them at 6.
I have it at 8.
I like. I briefly touched on it with Sorcerer. Wizards have a pretty glaring weakness of destroy their spellbook.
Yes, that's why they're. That's one of the
You're right.
reasons they're
The,
low.
f- the fact that they're so dependent on that spell book. If they don't have the spell book, what can they do? Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
That's
Well-
not exactly true, but yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
You're basically a bad version of a sorcerer at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, so I'll go ahead and hop on since I put them at 8, which is the lowest. One of the main reasons is the spellbook thing. They definitely have like the most subclasses, even though we played the whichever wizard that Rodefro, do you remember which wizard it was? That Divination Wizard. We were playing that wrong because the thing is with the Divination Wizard, you have to, before the DM rolls, you have to go ahead and say, this is the one that I'm doing. We were playing it as after the roll was
After.
announced, that's when you can go ahead and announce it. Because if you do it the way that you're supposed to, I feel like, I don't know, like it doesn't make sense for the subclass, but that's a whole other story for a whole other day. The D6 hit dice is one of the main reasons that I put it as low as I did. The D6 hit dice and the fact that if you destroy their spellbook, they're fucking done.
Yeah. That's. Go ahead.
The one thing
under role play.
the one thing I will say about the D6 hit dice, it's not as big of a feature as you think it is. Barbarian is what, a D12.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
they get on average 7 hit points every time you roll that die, which you can take as a normal. The D6 is a 4, so it's only a difference of 360 hit points in the long run. I know barbarians are thicker because of their rage and everything, but
Yeah.
the hit point difference is really not as much as you think it is.
Well, also then, if we're going to go with that, also look at what their AC usually is. I believe a wizard can only have light armor, and shield, once you get to a certain level, shield is good, but you also have enemies that have like plus 10 to their attack, if not more.
I think
Sir,
that's
let
why
me-
you have to get stuck with mage armor or whatever the heck it was called. I
Yeah.
forget
Sir, let me-
something.
Yeah, mage armor.
Let me introduce you guys to blade singing. You gain
One
bonus
class.
AC equal to your intelligence modifier.
There's another one too. War
That's-
magic, if I'm not mistaken.
Gross.
Yeah, and like I said, one class definitely gets it. For me, it's the hit dice and the spellbook, though.
Sure, but that's the one class that's supposed to be in the front line.
Right.
That's my thing.
No,
They
and I
have
get that.
insane. They have insane AC. Like you can get up to 25 easily.
Yeah, and I have a blade singing warlock or wizard with the mobile feat. So it's like go up there, melee, and then I can walk away without provoking attack of opportunities because I'm
Yeah,
mobile.
Zephyr Strike. If they learn that, they just have to hold it basically. If you want to waste your
Yeah.
concentration. Where did you say they were at, Bricker, again?
For me, they're in the 8th spot.
All right, that is our entire list. Do we have anything else to say about Wizard before we go ahead and tally up the results here?
They
can-
also. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'll just give you my story of like the first time I played Wizard, and I could not grasp the idea of Wizard. I think I even up their spells quite a bit while I was playing through it, and I ended up just getting bodied constantly because I just couldn't get myself into positions properly with them. And while I did have fun, I also didn't like that limited spells because, if I'm not mistaken, technically Wizards, they obviously don't have all their spells. In order to get more spells, by rules, you would have to have a scroll of it, spend time and money to learn that spell. And while that's awesome, it can get a little fucking annoying.
Yeah, it's a daunting task to have to deal with.
It is. But that's how
Yeah.
you get more and more spells as a wizard.
Yeah.
But otherwise, nah, they're fun. They're good. Just
Yeah, and
I just can't.
I get it. I will say that one of the reasons why it's not as high on the list for me is that I haven't had the opportunity to play it. So part of my ranking is based off of the knowledge that I have of it.
Just
If
That's
I
why
get to
Sorcerer's
play
a
it,
little-
yeah, maybe I'll end up enjoying it a little bit more than how I feel currently.
Excellent.
and that's
So you
why
guys,
Sorcerer's under low for me too. I never
Yeah.
played one. I've seen it once. I don't have any good ideas of how they can work.
I hope
Was
that
there
we
else with
had
the-
some ties though with these scores because
I was about to say, you think we're done? You would think that, wouldn't
no.
you?
Um,
We're not.
well,
No.
According to my math, there's only one tie.
There is one time we need to decide who is number one.
Oh, well.
Oh,
Oh,
my
who do we
my
got?
tie's not number one.
Then we didn't count that right.
Oh no, here
Someone
we
didn't
go.
count that right. It's not number 1. What did you get for your tie?
Hold on.
This is why we take stats twice, people.
Yep.
That way we double check.
Making a
So
list.
my ties are actually between fighter and ranger, both with a score of 37.
My fighter got 38. Bricker, what
I
did you
might
have
have
for
done
fighter?
my math.
Fighter for me was in the honorable mentions.
So
Yep.
11.
Yeah.
And then
so
Rhino, you also had honorable mention.
Honorable as fighter. Yep.
Then you had it at 7, Sopo.
I did it 6.
That's where it's mixed up. But you also had cleric at 6, or was that at 7?
Oh, I'm sorry. I have fighter at 7. I have cleric at 6. I notated my own number wrong.
It's okay. It's okay.
When adding
It's
math
hard.
up, yeah.
You know what? For people who throw around math dice, we're really bad at math.
Listen, that's why it's all written down and we have calculators in our pockets now.
If we had a guidance counselor, it's like, what do you want your hobbies to be in the future? And I'd be like, I want to play D&D. He'd be like, how about bowling?
He'd be like, you called it geometry 2. I don't know about that.
How about bowling?
It does it
Or
automatically. You throw
Bowling is
ball,
fun.
it goes Bert, and you're done.
And the computer counts for you. You don't
Yes.
have to do it.
Yes.
My tie was
rocks.
between Bard and Druid.
Oh, hell.
Top
I have Druid at 12 and Bard at 13.
Let's go over the numbers real quick. Bricker, Bard is a 3, right?
Yep.
I know mine was a 3.
Yeah,
Sopo, what'd you have it at?
that's 6. I did it 5.
Okay, and Rhino, you had it at 1, didn't you?
I had it at 1. Hard was 1 for me.
6 plus 6 is 12.
Oh, yeah, I'm bad at math. That's
We
all.
got a tie. Don't worry, I used Excel. I'm not good at math.
At least he owns up to it. So
Yeah, I'm
is
terrible
this
at math.
battling for 3rd and 4th place then, basically?
This is first and second.
First and second, good.
And then we'll go over
Bard.
the rest of the list.
Bard, number 1.
Based on the way that we have it, I mean, it's up to you guys to argue it. Argue the merits of Bard. You're taking side of Bard, who's taking Druid?
Druid, because I had it as my number 1.
I'm in the middle. I don't know about you right now.
Did put Bard at number 1. I might still have to say Druid. I love my Druid.
I'm going with Bard.
I love Druid.
Okay, so you guys got to convince me either we keep this tie and maybe move it to chat, or I go with Druid. So let's hear your arguments.
I just gotta do polls in all the chats for Bard versus Druid with no option to buy the votes.
Yep, that's what I'm gonna do right now.
Yeah, we can do that.
You want to do that instead?
I have never set up.
I still want to go ahead and argue it
the
out.
Poll, why don't we each come up with a point or two to last minute swaying?
I would agree.
Then I'll go ahead and take Bard as well, just because that'll even it out, basically.
Yeah. So, do you guys want to go first then? You damn Druid
Bard's
lovers.
Alphabetically first.
All right, fine.
Feel free to
So,
go first.
Bard,
I know you wanna
again-
be first.
Oh, no, I do. Bard is, for me, very versatile. Like I said, it gets many different spell options. And not only that, but the thing is, and I know that as a DM, we do hate this, but once you get access to things like Liamon's Tiny Hut, Mordenkainen's Magnificent Mansion, things like that, it also becomes a way to be able to survive. It's got a ton of spells. It's able to even reduce damage or make a move miss altogether with cutting words. There's a lot of different options that I feel that the Bard has. While it's not necessarily the biggest damage dealer, to me, it is the strongest support character that you're going to find.
Very good points. Very good. I like them. Very good.
Excellent. Sopo, what's your points for the Druid?
I think that they are more versatile in the sense that they can actually fill any role regardless of what subclass they are. They don't have to be a swords bard to be a melee class. They don't have to be a stars druid to be the healer support. So I think their subclasses is more what do you want to excel at, while you can still kind of versatile into anything. They're a little less group friendly. I'll say that for sure. The Bard is better at group support than the Druid. but we're talking about spells we hate. Goodberry, versus the Vehement's Tiny Hut. I hate the hut, but I love the hut.
Jabba the Hutt. No, I'm kidding.
Also, my last kind of big point is Druid is very easy for a new player compared to Bard, especially someone who's never role played. Like role playing a charismatic character can be a little daunting.
See, and that's another reason why Bard is my number one, because at that point, like, for me, especially, like, just looking away from new versus veteran players, I feel like there's a lot more different roleplay opportunities that you can have with a Bard over a Druid. And, I mean, Ronifero can say this. Sopo, you've been DMing me for a little bit now. You can also see it. I enjoy role-playing. I like being able to cause free, and having a Bard is a wonderful way to do so.
Right.
I agree with that.
I'll go ahead and take over the points with the Bard. Bricker. I know you love the Bard that much. I will say that the Bard throughout the entire game is absolutely useful. The Druid, if you choose a Moon Druid, which we all have argued that is the absolute strongest the Druid can get, levels 15 through 19, they're not as strong as the other classes. They only have limited amount of wild shapes, and their elemental shapes are not going to be as strong HP wise.
Yeah.
Whereas the Bard gets even stronger. I think they get access to like Wish, which I know Druids do as well. Don't get me wrong. They're both really powerful casters. But the fact that Bards are also charisma and can be easier to mix into other classes, to me, that just bumps them up to number one, which
Also,
Druid's very close.
Druid, unless it's a specific subclass that I'm thinking of, Druid does not get Wish.
Yeah,
They
I didn't
also-
think.
Oh, I thought they
don't-
did.
Bard,
I
the
don't
only
think so.
reason Bard gets it
That's
is
what I
because
was
of
checking
lore
my
Bard
code.
background.
That's true. You always forget. You forget about lore Bard. Anything that the Druid can do, technically, so can the Bard because of lore. If they decide to go that route,
And that's the route that I went,
Or
personally.
shape change.
if they choose to,
That's the biggest thing, is if you choose to.
yes,
Because like
yes.
even Druid, like I said before, Shepherd Druid has the ability to heal your entire party with one spell. You heal one target, everybody gets healing. You even have the ability to put down a different spirit, which also gives everybody 10 hit points based on your level, and strength checks, like advantage on strength checks and its strength abilities too. Also, being able to conjure up a bunch of animals to protect you as a druid is insanely powerful, especially for the party. Look at this. We now have more bodies, and they're just stronger. They just end up being much more stronger as if you choose like something like a shepherd. The
Fair.
totem of the shepherd has a 60-foot range too. It's fucking massive.
Yeah, I think for me, it's just the roleplay opportunities are so much wider than what a Druid is. They're able to be the face of the party. They're literally a jack of all trades. That's why, in my opinion, they're more useful than a Druid. But
That's one thing a Druid can't do, actually, versatility-wise. If we're talking about that, sure, the Druid's able to tank where the Bard's not able to, but the Bard is face of the party where the Druid shouldn't do that. Usually there's somebody that's a better option for it, which, of course, it's always roleplay-based, but
Yeah,
you do
yeah.
have the dice as well when it comes to charisma. Bards are charisma casters. Another thing about the Bard, I lost it. Never mind. We'll go to the next person. We'll come back whenever we get it back.
I could see while the Bard is kind of the face, maybe, where the Druid could be like the leader. They're kind of what keeps the group together. They're like, these are the wise choices to make. This is maybe why we should go this route. Role play wise, wisdom versus charisma, basically.
Choose a life lesson over a talkative one.
yeah,
That's fair. That goes.
what
It
I'll
does
say
go
to that
both ways.
is that in the middle of a town setting, though, charisma is typically, and again, it is all up to DM interpretation at that point, but I feel like raw charisma is typically going to get you further than what wisdom does.
Yeah,
In a town.
definitely in a town.
Now just go out into the wilds. Now your druid's gonna be much better.
I will say that's not necessarily true. One thing I
Oh?
was going to bring up as well is that bards, roleplay wise, have the most opportunity. You can be an Unga Bunga character that can't talk, but you can drum a little bit, so therefore you're a bard now. I'm just saying that is an option. But here's another point that I think we're completely ignoring. Bards get 3 choices of skills from anything.
Yep.
Anything. Druids get 2, which is good. That's a lot. But they have a choice of a list. They can't take intimidation. They can't take persuasion. Those are things they cannot take. So that's my point as well.
And not only that, but the thing is, like, yeah, they do have they have the ones that they can pick, but honestly, Jack of all trades helps them be busted because whatever your proficiency bonus is, take half of that, and even if you're not trained in it, you still get half your proficiency bonus in anything you do.
That's true.
That's nasty.
Yeah,
That's huge.
huge.
I think I'm willing to concede.
Yes!
We did it!
Yes!
But
And-
ultimately, every class is fun.
Yes. That is the important thing, that even though we all over the monk, I would still love to play a monk at some point.
I
will
need to play
monk.
another monk. I need to play another monk.
I will play a
fucking love
monk.
Monks.
So before we go through and announce who the winner is, Spellsaber did bring up another great point. 100% it's dependent. Roleplay is dependent on the actual player, not the
Yes.
class.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that is absolutely true. I did base some of that, but that is not weighted nearly as heavily. Plus, when I say roleplay, that does take skills into consideration as well.
Yeah.
Sure, your barbarian may be able to not be completely stupid, which is great. But like, say the bard knows history, they're going to be the ones to step up and speak up during that check.
And
that's what I mean by roleplay as
not
well.
only that, but the thing is, like, more often than not, especially depending on where you're at, what you're trying to do, more often than not, role-playing is going to lead to make a persuasion check or make an intimidation check. Bard is going to get that, and the other class may not, depending on what you're playing as.
It's pretty good.
I'm also kind of sad. I watched everybody's polls. I know exactly what just happened.
It was pretty bad. it was a slaughter. So
Oh, it was a tie in mine.
wait, did we tie?
In mine.
You tied in Bricker. I got Druid.
It's
let's
Tied
just
all
say,
around.
It's tied.
let's just say it's all tied then.
You know what?
Okay.
How about this? Let's have a bard riding on top of a shape-shifting druid riding into battle, singing songs of victory.
I'm good
Yep.
with it, but I'm just gonna point this out. Sopo did concede and say I will give Bard
He did.
number 1.
But he also said he voted in the polls.
And I voted Druid every time.
Sopo, it's your fault.
Sobo broke it. It's Bard. I'm sorry. I'm calling
Yeah,
it.
Damn
same.
you.
So
But it was really, really,
It
really
was,
close.
and
Really close.
this was the type of debate that I was hoping for.
Yes, it was technically Saint to Sevens. It was a perfect tie, but that's because Sopo cheated.
So
I wouldn't say I cheated.
Yes,
I voted
I
with
would.
my heart, not
Did
my
you
brain.
vote in more than one Discord or more than one poll?
Yes.
You cheated. All right. To give us a rundown here, number 1 was Bard. Number 2 was Druid. Number 3 was Sorcerer, which, I love Sorcerers. That's wonderful. Number 4 was Wizard. Then we had Cleric, Paladin, Barbarian, Warlock, Rogue, Ranger, and the honorable mentions were actually Fighter, Artificer, and Monk, but Monk was the lowest.
well, yeah.
Rank them for me real quick. What were the last 3?
Fighter was 11, 12 was Artificer, and 13 was Monk.
No, you mean 15 was Monk.
Why 15?
Because it's so bad at 13 and 14.
It's not that bad.
so
I don't want to discourage anyone from playing Monk, because Monks, they can be fun.
They can.
Just like everything.
Yeah.
Oh, monks are fun. They're fun.
We just give them a hard time because we love them. And one thing I
love
do
druids.
just want to add as well, we don't necessarily hate any of these classes. The
No.
reason
No.
that we put it into roleplay factors and things like that is because depending on that, it's all dependent on the table that you're at. If you're not rolling or running a roleplay heavy thing, then a bard is not going to be as useful. Same with any type of situation with any type of character. There are going to be campaigns where a fighter is going to be more beneficial to have than a healer. This list, in all honesty, is just for fun.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah, it's literally just
four
a...
experts, head honchos of opinions.
Yes.
This
I'm
is
pretty
bad.
sure I put in my 4 goobers ranking D&D classes.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely nothing to take too seriously, for sure.
Let's have a bard riding on top of a shape-shifting druid riding into battle, singing songs of victory.